Hey, what is happening? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So hopefully you're going to learn something in this video. Hopefully it's a little bit different. It's not going to be a tutorial. It's going to be more me just explaining some things that, because as a photographer, I know what to look for when you want to make realistic renders, because photography is real life photos, and I know what makes a decent photo or what makes a good photo. So I apply that in Blender, and I thought I would just explain a little bit about how to get realistic renders. And it's actually pretty simple, and I'll explain it. Hopefully you learn something in the video. Hopefully it makes sense and you can apply it to your kind of scenes. So this won't really apply to like abstract things. It's more if you want something realistic to make it look realistic, because a lot of times you'll create something and then when you put the camera, it almost seems like there's something off, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is just talk about it. So I've got a scene here. You can see if I do this, it looks pretty realistic. It's very, very cool. It's like an ancient kind of monument thing, gazebo, Greek style. That's what it says. And you can get it on Blender Kit. So link in the description, check it out. But I'm just going to go back here and bring up the camera, and this is basically a render. So if I go here now, you'll see this looks pretty nice. So let's talk about a little bit about why this makes, or why this is a good render. And obviously you can move it around, but first thing, I'm not going to talk about like the materials and that kind of stuff, because obviously if you want something realistic, you got to have realistic looking materials. So the grass needs to look realistic, the concrete, that kind of stuff, the tiles here, sky, obviously all needs to be as realistic as possible. So you can use things like you can use Blender Kit for your materials. You can use Ducky's add-on, the real-time materials. They have some very good materials, but I'm not going to go into that. But obviously if you want realistic renders, you'll need realistic, high quality looking materials. Obviously you also need to be in cycles. That's obviously more realistic than Eevee. And if you see, because if I go here, go to Eevee, okay, well, let's just leave it at cycles. And but Eevee, like I said, it won't look as realistic as cycles. But now obviously first thing I noticed that makes this very, very good realistic kind of render is the symmetry. Okay, obviously not all renders will be you'll be able to, not all renders will allow you to have like a symmetrical image. You can see this cuts to the middle, and then it's like the same thing on either side, and it just looks good. As a photographer, we look for these kind of things when we're composing photos. But the main thing I want to talk about, and obviously from the thumbnail, is layers. So you can see, look here, this fence is layered, and then there's another layer of these things, layered, the stairs there. So you can see it's not just a flat image. You can see there's layers, and that's what I mean by that. If I go here, go out of here, and go here, you can see all the layers from the side view, like that. Okay, and you can see it's all layered like that. So if this wasn't there and it was just this, it would look a lot flatter. If I go back here, you can see then nothing would be here, and it will look a lot more boring. This adds nice layers to it. It adds a nice dimension to the image. It makes it look a lot more realistic, and that's what I mean by, if you want to make things realistic, you gotta add layers to your image or your scene, basically. Okay, and obviously lighting is pretty important, and you can see the HDRI is a good one. You can see even the background, the desert, that also adds, if that was just flat, it wouldn't look as good if you didn't have that there. It everything adds into it. One thing you can do is, if you want to go further, if I go to camera, you can always add a depth of field. So boom, now you can see here, let's add depth of field. Let's add there. Okay, and it just adds a little bit more. F-stop, you can make it like 1. You can see that blurs the front out, and then it adds a bit more depth to the image, but you don't really need to do that. It looks good just without a depth of field, but yeah, you can add that in as well. Yeah, you can see even with the grass, and now I'm hopping on talking a little bit about the same thing, but you can see even the grasses, the layers, you know, it's not just the grass is just making everything, just without even realizing it, it adds that nice texture and depth again. Like I said, layers, it's the best way to get a realistic render. And yeah, that is the whole point of this video. Hopefully you learned something, hopefully it was helpful, and yeah, I just thought I'd share it with you guys. Like I said, hopefully you enjoyed. Feel free to check out Blender Kit, link in the description. Sign up, it's free, or you can get the paid version. Both versions are great, but I think this is the best bang for your buck add-on in Blender. It's got scenes, materials, models, and it's all built in to Blender. It's got HDRIs, everything you need. You could probably create so much from just this add-on, and it's only like a few dollars a month, so check it out. Video is not sponsored though, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Also check out the Patreon, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.